on YouTube, and I am also live on Instagram. My name is Oyama Mdleleni, and today I just want to, I'm sure there's some of you might not know what I'm about, so I just wanted today to bring everything together, because I've been sharing the word of the Lord, my personal story, my personal journey in finding purpose, and also about my family, my marriage. I've been sharing on social media platform, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Today I just wanted maybe to just bring everything together so that into context, so that it makes sense maybe to some of you. So let me just take you a bit back. So as I've said, my name is Oyama Mdleleni. I am married. I have 5 children. I am a woman of faith, daughter of Christ. I was saved in 2020 on the 1st of May. After I had been going through a lot of stuff in my life. Things were just falling apart. Nothing was making sense. I was in the verge of getting divorced. At the time, we were having 4 children. So I started now sharing my journey from 2020, because now it felt like everything was just, it's like everything was just I was imploding. Everything was just coming together. I was imploding because of all the trauma that I had, that was building up. It was building up from my childhood. I've shared my story of being raped as a child at the age of 6, repeatedly. I've shared also on social media being raped again at the age of 8 by a cousin, and again the year I was doing my matric, year 2000, on my way to school, by 2 men. And also I've shared mistakes also that I've made over the years, which I felt like were culminating from my brokenness, my trauma in terms of relationships that I got myself involved in, and also financial decisions that I've made over the years. But today, mostly I want to talk mostly about finding my purpose in the public sector. So I've been working in the public sector for 15 years now. Working for 15 years in disaster management. In these 15 years, the first 2 years, I was a leadership. After I graduated from Cape Town, because I was born in Cape Town. After I graduated from the university, I had completed my BCom degree. I then, excuse this light. This light is just making some funny business here. So I had completed my degree in BCom, and I now was looking for a job. I moved to Johannesburg. When I moved to Johannesburg, I started looking for a job. I was applying everywhere where I could get an opportunity, and this opportunity came where they were looking for undergrad students in various fields. A program that was run by CSIR in partnership with National Disaster Management Center, and also DimTech from Free State University. Then I applied, I got in. The program was entailing studying disaster management, honors and masters, And then we were placed, it was a group of us, and we were also a second intake. It was a group of us, so we were placed at national, provincial, and local level, and would rotate over time. And then the next 6 years after that, I was working for a metropolitan municipality. I left that one, and now I'm where currently I am in. This is my 7th year. Also working for a metropolitan municipality, another one. So it's 2 years, 6 years, and 7 years, which makes now 15 years in disaster management. And the first 6 years where I worked my first permanent job working for the other metropolitan municipality, I enjoyed my job thoroughly. I enjoyed the role I was playing. I enjoyed the teams, the support, the management, the environment, the stakeholders, other departments I was engaging in terms of my deliverables, and I really enjoyed it. So I was responsible for volunteer training and also disaster risk reduction activities. I would plan the International Disaster Risk Reduction Day, which is an annual event on the 13th of October. And then I enjoyed planning this event. I enjoyed coming up with the concept document. I enjoyed engaging various stakeholders. I enjoyed just the whole planning of the event. I really enjoyed it. And then as I was doing this job, now also my personal life, there were things that were happening in my personal life in terms of my husband being retrenched and having babies one after another, and just felt like it was getting too much. Up to the point now, I started to make some financial decisions that were compromising, that were very much detrimental to my family. I had loans, personal loans, I had credit cards, I had store accounts. And then to top it all up, now I took out a pension-backed loan from my pension fund of 180,000 rands, of which I don't know what I did with that money up to date. But now those financial decisions put me in a position now where I would find myself now getting paid the salary now, the entire money now I just went into debt, to paying off the debt, and then I would go and take again from my credit card and go and buy groceries. So that was each month now, the state of affairs each month, which took a toll on me, and I found myself now being desperate to wanting to resolve or wanting to just remove this problem that I was being faced with, that I had gotten myself into. And I started looking for other jobs. I applied where currently now I'm working. I applied for the position, and I was so desperate because I would pray and ask God and say, God, please give me this job. If you give it to me, I will never ask you for anything. That was the prayer that I was making every single day. And he gave me the job. And I did pay off at that time the debt, which was, I think, must have been around about what? It took the whole pension fund of working for 6 years. Paid it off, continued. The problem reoccurred again because I had not addressed the root cause that was making me now finding myself into that position, because it had to come from somewhere. The spending pattern, the impulsive spending, the not thinking about tomorrow. So that mindset had to be coming from somewhere. So now where I'm trying to get at is that, okay, when now I got into this current job that I'm working in, and then I find myself that now I'm no longer enjoying my work. I just found myself now I don't know where to position myself, because now it's no longer just a few of us, but a lot of us. And placing ourselves in according to our skills, gifts, and talents, it's quite tricky, but it's not even considered. Not even considered. That has been a big challenge for me now, because I just found myself that I was not adding any value. I started looking at it negatively, dreading going to work, dreading Sunday nights when the following morning I have to go to work. But also, as that was occurring on the side, I'm faced with divorce. We've separated, we're going through the process. Now the children are back and forth from his side and my side. That also is putting a lot of pressure. I found myself now in a state of depression, where it was finding it difficult to wake up in the morning and to prepare for the children, and I couldn't. Up until this day now, I mentioned that I got saved on the 1st of May in 2020, where now things just 360-degree turn. They took a 360-degree turn, where I found myself now. The Lord, as I was trying to be intentional and making time to get into His presence and trying to find out about my life. What is my purpose? Why am I here? Why did He create me? Why are all these things happening? Firstly, He restored my marriage, and we have since had our 5th child. Now, He was now starting to show me exactly why am I here. That's how I found my purpose in the public sector. To say that I am meant to serve the women like myself, who are currently finding themselves in the same state that I was in, where I found myself that I didn't want to go to work. I didn't love my job. I had to go to work because I had bills to pay. I was in so much debt. I was not happy in my household. I was broken. I had all these things that now were imploding inside of me because of all the trauma that I had experienced growing up, and as a young adult, and as a woman. So all these things now started culminating, and in now finding my purpose, I am able to say I can serve women, black women especially, working in the public sector. Women who are finding themselves stuck and stagnant where they are, that they just go to work because they have to pay the bills. They don't know how to connect. They don't know how to position themselves in such a way that they find joy and fulfillment in what they do on a daily basis. Because we go to work every day, Monday to Friday. We spend most of our time at work. And for you to do it just because, and especially I'm serving the woman of faith who I think the culture has taught us, or religion has taught us that we have to struggle to honor God. It's like a struggle it's a way we honor God. But God says that He has plans for us, plans to prosper us and not to harm us, but to give us a future. And He says He can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask, think, or imagine. But I believe that when we read about faith, and the Bible tells us that it is impossible to please God without faith. We end where it says that those who come before him must first believe that he exists. I think we end there and not continue and say, and that he is a rewarder of those who sincerely seek him. So God wants he wants to reward you because you have been seeking his face. You have, hi Ntombi Kanhlapo, thank you for joining. And I've been just sharing to say how I found my purpose working in the public sector. And I've been also sharing my own personal journey and my personal story, where on social media I have been sharing just bits and pieces of my personal story of being raped as a child when I was 6 years old, and also where I found myself now being in this broken as a person. And at the time I was not even aware until as I was growing up, I had so much anger. I was just I would get easily irritated. So that's what I'm sharing. And now I'm sharing also how I found my purpose working in the public sector. To say that as women of faith, we take struggle as if it's something that is honoring God, when that was never his intention for us, especially as women. That was never his intention for us. He tells us that he has plans for us. He has plans to prosper us and to give us a future. So now when we struggle and we are so indebted, we can't pay our debts, and yet every day, Monday to Friday, we go to work, but at the end of the month we dread, because we know that that money comes and goes and we have no control, we can't manage it, and then now we find ourselves being stuck, that we have to continue doing this work. And as we are doing this work, because now otherwise other things will be affected, in terms like our house now can be repossessed, our cars can be repossessed, our assets. So we have to continue going to work so that we can get this money that we don't even have to, that we don't even get a chance to touch. We can't even tithe. That is never God's intention for us. He tells us that he can do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask, think, or imagine. And personally, my story and my life experiences, God has shown me how I can use that to better my life, and at the same time honoring him, because that is his intention for us to be able to live lives that honor him, but at the same time not struggling. That is never his intention for us. So whoever is interested to know more, you can send me a DM, you can send me a private message, and I will share more with you. But I do believe that in the public sector we can find our purpose. We don't have to leave our jobs because we're feeling so frustrated, and of course we can if we feel that really we've been led to go and to other ventures, like for instance starting our own business, or jumping ship to another department, or even going to the private sector. But that is if we're being led and we are able to discern and not being pushed by desperation, because when we are desperate we lose all sort of discernment. We can't discern when we are desperate, and this is where most of us as women, as nurturers, as the ones who are holding the fort and who are taking all the burden of our families, because some of us are even looking after our parents, our siblings, and our in-laws. That is the burden that most women today are carrying. And I'm talking specifically to women in the public sector who are carrying this burden, who have to go to work, who have to, not because they are being fulfilled by the work that they do, of which God wants to change that. Remember, he's the one who placed you in that job. It's never men who give you the job. Elevation or promotion comes from the Lord, the Bible tells us. He is that job, you got it from him. Yes, men are the one who appointed you and said, okay, you get the job, but he is the one who made it all possible for you. So as you are sitting there, you are his servant. You are working for him. And he doesn't want you to suffer there. He can give you the strategy to do your work. He can give you ideas. You are meant to be innovators. We have so much gifts and talents that we are underutilizing as women. Not just one gift or one talent, but many various gifts and talents that we are underutilizing as women. And we are not supposed to sit on those. But because there are people who are assigned to us that we are supposed to serve. And those people now are waiting on us for us to get a wake-up call and start doing the things that we are meant to be doing on a daily basis, to start realizing our full potential, to start living our purpose, and not be living in this fear and living this timid life of just I have to do it, where our shoulders are always down and we feel like we have to do things because we have bills to pay. We are never created to just pay bills. That was never God's intention for us. But he wants us to thrive. He wants us to prosper in doing our work. He wants us to prosper. So sis, I'm here to encourage you to say there's more to your life than the way you've been living. I understand that there's a lot of burden. There's a lot that you need to take care of in terms of your family. But in that job, don't take that job as just the thing that puts food on your table or the thing that just pays your bills. But it's a calling. It's meant to be bigger than that, to be bigger than just putting bread on your table. Yes, God is providing for you through that job, and he wants to do more than that. He wants to do more than that. You're not just breathing to pay bills. You are not just breathing to pay bills. There's more to you than that. There's gifts and talents in you that are just laying dormant and that are not being utilized to their full potential. So that is what I wanted to say today. That is what I wanted to share today. And I'm hoping to hear from you. I'm hoping for you to engage with me in terms of what are your thoughts, where are you at in terms of your life, what kind of changes would you like to see and make in your own life, so that we can start doing the things that we were meant to do on this earth, and not just. So thank you for taking time to watch this, and thank you also for taking time to comment and liking and sharing this live. I'm hoping to hear from you, and please do take care of yourself and know that there is more to you. The roles that you are, being a mother and a wife and all these things is just a role. There is more to you. And also I will also be going live I will be inviting some guests, where on a weekly basis I will be going on live with them, especially guests women who have been, some of them have been working in the public sector and are entrepreneurs now. Some of them are thriving in the public sector, and also women who are just not as thriving, and we find reasons for those. Why are they not thriving? Why? What could be some of the hindrances that are making them not to? Because I believe that we can thrive in the public sector. It's not just being an entrepreneur and the private sector, but also we can also contribute in the economy. We can contribute tremendously in the economy of the country. So thank you so much for watching. Hope to hear from you. Until next time then, goodbye.